Hey, 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 y'all. Welcome back to Just Sharing with Nine. And a happy new year to you all. It is 2023. We made it through 2022, right? I don't know anyone else that has been watching my channel has had as many ups and downs as I have. I'm pretty sure there are some people. So, it's funny, when I brought in the new year, I already was going through some anxiety about this being the 1 year anniversary to a bunch of things coming up. So I decided when I said, hey, get a new video, start off the new year. I want to take y'all on this journey of, I was really trying to figure out, like, what do I want to title this? Like, these unexpected setbacks or unexpected stop you in your place things that happen and make you like really just listen, breathe, rest, all these things, right? So I don't know if you all caught that in I think it was probably my first video, I was in a sling. I had broken my left arm while on vacation in the U.S. Virgin Islands, and it was the first trip that I had done pretty much out of the 50 states, we'll say it that way, okay, since COVID, since 2020. It was my first trip after being in this new position of leadership that I am in at work, where I finally was like, oh, I'm going to take advantage of this 3-day weekend. I didn't have any more PTO coverage, so I had to take advantage of 3-day weekends. And I did, right? My bestie is a travel nurse, so she was there and it's coming to the end. So I was like, yes, I got somewhere free to stay. Don't have to worry about that. Let's go kick it. I don't care what we do in these next 3 days, but I just want to do something that is not work related and doesn't cause me to think a lot. Well, we didn't get to do as much as we wanted. We did a lot, but didn't get to do as much because there was a tropical storm coming through. Y'all know Labor Day time frame, all the tropical storms, they start naming the hurricanes and everything else, and you're just like, come on now. But, I mean, we dealt with the rain. I had braids. I'm like, hey, we're natural. We're going to keep moving. That's not going to stop our show. The last night, we're getting ready to leave out. Standing on the porch, looking at the rain. I'm like, dang, my dress gonna get wet, but that's okay. I went ahead and put on my Converse because I'm like, we're not gonna wear sandals so we don't get tripped up, sandal caught in the mud, whatever the case. I kid y'all not. I went to grab the rail to step down off the porcelain wet porch and somehow slipped. I don't even know how I slipped, but I slipped and I landed on my back on the concrete stairs. Concrete, 3 of them. Just laying there, looking up at the rain. And so we're both healthcare professionals. She's going through can you hear me? Are you okay? How's your head? Like, that's the first thing. How is your head? Do you know where you are? Do you know what happened? I don't know what happened, but I'm laying on the ground. How's your head? My head feels fine. How's your back? My back feels fine. I'm going to try to get up. I turn to the right where the rail is, and I can't lift my left arm off the ground. I'm like, oh, why is it so heavy? Oh, this is hard. So I scoop it up just like I'm just going to protect it, right? Turn, get up. She helps me up the stairs. And then as soon as I get upstairs, it's like, whoosh. And I'm literally saying to myself, it's not broken. It's not broken. It's fine. It's fine. And I'm just like crying, more and more and more. We get inside the apartment, and all I try to do was turn my arm like a little small degree, like a pinch, and I felt a clunk, and I about came down to my knees, and that's what it was. After that, got in the car, I'm calling my aunt. She's like, what would you tell your patients? I would say, tell them to go to the ER. She's like, well, that's where I need to go. And I was like, no. When they say us healthcare professionals are some of the worst patients, we can be, because we'd be like, no, it's not that bad, we good, but we tell everybody else what they need to do. Sometimes we forget, we're human, right? We're human. So we get to the ER, and I'm still crying. Like, been crying now for at least an hour, I think. She's filling out the paperwork. She calling the nurses that she knows, see if they can get me back any faster. I'm like, ain't nobody in this waiting room. What is taking so long? Like, can we just get this arm checked out? the whole time I'm thinking my arm is this way. Now I'm holding it just like I'm holding it here in the camera. I'm thinking it's pointing out that way. She's like, nothing's broken, no skin broken. I say, no bones are showing. I'm like, okay, it's just a really, really bad sprain. Really bad sprain. Yep, doc is like, I tell him everything. He's like, oh, you're a healthcare professional, because I'm using medical terms. And he's like, so yeah, you called it. It's broken. I'm like, no, I can't afford to have a broken arm. I got to go back to work. I ain't got no PTO. Blah, 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 all this stuff. So they want to have me see ortho there. And I'm like, no, I'm going to need y'all to cast this, wrap it, whatever you got to do, because I got to get on the plane the next day and go back to Atlanta. And so that started the journey. 2 days later, I had surgery on what's called my left ulna. It's one of the bones in your forearm. I had an ORIF. So I had a plate and 8 screws. So my mom's best friend from Philly was there with me. My dad came. Dad's, 80. He ain't moving the fastest, but he did help as much as he could. And plus his baby girl is having surgery. He gonna be there. I thought I was doing great. I'm like, I got full motion. I was out of work for 6 weeks. Went through that whole emotional toll of what the world. Am I gonna be able to go back to work? Like, I'm out of work for 6 weeks. Am I gonna get my strength back? What I need to do? I'm doing my range of motion. I'm taking my time. Granted, I was driving. And he did clear me. Once he cleared me to drive, I drove. And I'm like doing everything I'm supposed to do. We get to the 3-month follow-up, and he's like, so how have things been? I was like, over the last couple of weeks, I've had these sharp shooting pains. And I'm thinking it's because I'm back to work, right? I do a lot of typing. I'm supervisor, but I also treat patients, and I'm doing a lot of administrative stuff. So I'm thinking it's just the typing, right? And I'd always be holding my arm, and my therapists were like, yeah, you still got swelling. I'm like, yeah, I know. It's just because I'm using it more, blah, blah, blah. He takes out the x-rays and was like, no, this is the reason. 2 of my screws, 2, mind you, have moved. One of them is completely like halfway out of the plate. I start crying in the office. I'm like, what is this? And he's like, we got to have surgery again. Excuse me? I know I joked when we were in surgery. I was like, do I have to keep this? But I was being serious. Like, I was going to keep it. He's like, no, they need to come out. I'm like, another surgery? Now, this is December. So I'm like, another surgery? And then I'm going to be out for how long? He's like, probably another 6 weeks. Dude, let me tell you. Do you even understand that in 2020, in January, my mother and father both got COVID. Mom started going downhill. Unbeknownst to us, not COVID related. My mom was just ready to go. Go back and look at my grief journey and you'll understand all that. But she passed in February. All of my PTO from work was used up during that time, right? To take care of myself, my mother's arrangements, be there, father, whatever the case may be. Every other month it seemed like something. Besides the fact of just this whole new journey of learning how to manage my birthday, my brother's birthday, my dad's birthday without my mom. Mother's Day without my mom, her birthday, doing something to remember her, moving my father, helping him sell the house finally, moving him, here to, all these things. It's just like something. His dealing and managing of his own grief of his wife of 53 years, excuse me. But been together 55, me managing the changes financially because now bills are starting to come in from this first surgery, and trying to gain strength and dealing with pain and where are you at work and what can you do, what can't you do, just all this stuff. And you want me to start this cycle over again at the beginning of 2023? I know there are people that understand this when it feels like stuff just keeps coming down on you and you're like trying to claw your way out of it. And I kid y'all not, when October hit, Dad had been moved here to Georgia. I felt pretty good. Counseling had been going good. November, I'm like, yes, we're going to end this year on a high note. And then in December, to hear that you got to have surgery again, I just was like, what am I not doing? I promise you, Lord, I'm trying to listen. I'm listening. You took me out of work for 6 weeks. I took time for myself. I worked through my grief with Mom being with you. I listened to my body to try to get my health better, and just all these things that I did, thinking I'm gonna end this year great and get this information, and I'm like, okay, what am I not hearing? What am I not doing enough of? Where are you trying to move me to? Right? That's where I'm thinking now. So literally January 5th, had a second surgery. So we're wrapped up. I can be out of my sling in the house because I'm in the house. Cut right over the same incision. Took the plate and screws completely out. So now I'm thinking, am I going to get not how soon, but how is my strength going to be able to do my job as a physical therapist? We use both of our hands, right, in our profession, if you didn't know. We have to do certain manual or hands-on techniques that may require me holding someone's limb with my right hand and using my left hand to provide whatever technique I'm doing. Hello, CPR. Somebody goes down. I need to use both hands for compression. Just saying. Simple one for y'all to realize what I'm talking about. So yeah, it has definitely been another emotional toll, and trying not to think negatively about this. Actually, tomorrow will be 1 week post-op surgery, and me just trying to really step back and say, what am I supposed to take from this now? Go and sit down. Lesson. There's an opportunity to make a change in my profession, to kind of move up the ranks. And even that scared me, because I was like, oh, that's not my ministry. I'm not ready to be at that level. I like the level I'm at. But maybe he is telling me, guess what? No, yes, you are. Stop being fearful. I do not produce a spirit of fear. I will guide you. I've been there with you. I have never failed you. Trust me. I'm ready to make and to move you. But you have to step out on faith and trust me in this process. And so in counseling, we've actually been talking about that recently. Like, would I have applied for this position if I wouldn't have been taken out of work? And I actually said, no, I wouldn't have. I wouldn't have applied. I'd been like, no, I'm good where I'm at. But now that I've had to reevaluate, how well will I be able to do the things I love in my profession? It might not be there. I may not be at, I'll even say 90% until October. And I'm out of work right now in January till pretty much the end of February. So, things happen in life that we can get down on ourselves so quickly, y'all. And I get it. We can get down so quickly and be like, oh, woe is me. I'm just going to wallow in this. Instead of us, yes, as my mom would say, and even my dad, have that day of those tears, let them fall, be sad. But that next day you get up and you get going. You figure out a plan. You pray about it. If that's, in your faith and your beliefs, you talk about it. You devise a plan, you make a list, whatever is your method. But you get up that next morning and you do it. And you get yourself together and figure out, okay, how am I going to move with where I am right now? What am I going to take from this situation? And how am I going to better myself to get through this situation to the next level? And be open to whatever that is. Because sometimes you won't know, right? I'm out for 6 weeks. It may not come to me what this whole process and this new journey is supposed to be until week 4. But I'm trying to be open-minded. I'm trying to be faithful. I'm trying to be patient. I'm listening to my body and other things that go on. Because I tell you, when you've had any sort of a health scare, right? I'll just say that. Any sort of a health scare. It makes you a little bit, hopefully, it makes you a little bit more alert and aware of things going on in your body. And you should listen to those things, because that's what they were probably going on before, but you pushed them aside because you had work, you had the kids, you had the spouse, you had the significant other, whatever the case, you had the pets, you had the job, all these other things that you put before yourself. And we got to stop doing that, y'all. Like, we got to. I literally have been telling even my employees that got sick in December. I had one out with COVID. Well, no, 2 out with COVID, I think. But I was like, and they were trying to come in and not feeling well. And I said, look, don't put this job before your health. Because guess what? if something was to happen so bad and it took you out of this job, best believe they're going to find somebody else to take your place. So I know we love what we do, and I know we love whatever if we giving back in healthcare, and if we're, making a difference in finances on people, and we're building and creating and growing communities and all these things. But guess what? None of it should be higher than what you do for yourself. And to say, as sad as it said, that it took 42 years for me to truly understand that, to stop putting others, jobs, organizations before me, it's been a learning experience, y'all, because those things will be there, and then when you are down and you're having that quiet moment, you're going to see who's really going to be there for you, who's going to still check on you, who's going to call, who's going to just send you something. Hey girl, how you doing? How's your recovery going? Because guess what? All those things that you were so worried about and putting first are still moving on. They're still moving on. So the sum of this, just sharing, is take care of yourself. Don't be defeated by the things that happen that aren't your plan, that don't go along with your plan. And I'm saying this, and it's just coming to me because I promise y'all, I had those thoughts of like, oh my God, I've been doing this for 17 years. What else am I going to do? How am I, this is my love. I want to get back to it. Well, there's other ways to still work within this profession. There's other ways to still give back. And maybe this is my time to really tap into those that I was previously scared and afraid to do. And what am I scared and afraid to do? I've been doing this for 17 years now. Obviously, I got some sort of skills over here because I hear from patients. I hear even from my employees the thank yous and wow, it was this in the beginning, but you stuck with me and I appreciate it because it got to this in the end. So there's still ways for me to do that. Just got to be a little bit different and be open to the change. And open to change is hard as hell because we are creatures of habit. We like what we know and what we've been taught and learned to do. We feel as we get older, we ain't got time to learn nothing new. Well, yes, we do. Because the other option is we're not here to learn anything at all. And I plan to be here to learn new and to keep moving and to keep changing and growing as long as he allows me to. So put yourself first. Take care of yourself. Listen to your body. Those symptoms that you may have been like, oh, that's nothing. Let me tell y'all just a couple things. Having a headache for multiple days in a row is not normal. Okay? Going to the bathroom and maybe seeing a little blood in your stool is not normal. Feeling a little tingling numbness in your hand every now and then, every other day is not normal. Go get it checked out. We need to stop being afraid to go see the people that have been trained and specialized because of Auntie Sue had a bad experience. But that don't mean that you are. You ain't seeing the same person. And guess what? You ain't Auntie Sue. Ooh, did you think about that? Like when people say, oh, I'm not going to do that because I've heard it's this, and that. But guess what? Is that person you? Do they have the same DNA as you? No, they don't. So their outcome might be completely different. I feel like I just did a whole random, kind of went left a little bit, but I hope I made sense with all that. Because at the end of the day, what I'm still trying to say is put yourself first. Choose you first. Do you. Find whatever you need to do, whether it's, and I have meditation videos on my page because I do believe in finding that quiet time just to quiet your mind. I am a strong believer in and still use counseling. I was telling my cousin today, I'm like, the reason that you having these little breakdowns every now and then is because you keep holding all this stuff in. And you keep holding it all in, you're going to be like me. Because I'm telling you from experience, because I did not stop and take care of myself, guess who decided to stop me? So, I'm just saying, put yourself first. Because I shared this one other time in one of my grief videos. They tell you on the airplane, when the oxygen mask comes down, make sure you put your oxygen mask on first before assisting someone else. Because guess what? If you can't breathe to help the person next to you, then both of y'all are going down. Because you can't help nobody if you ain't helping yourself. And if you don't have what you need. So, My dear friends and family, I love you all. It is 2023. There are going to be ups and downs. I already know that. There's going to be this is the 1 year anniversary of this and that. And I'm going to go into those with faith that I will make it through, because I have a plethora of support system individuals that have been where I have been and understand and have always said they're there for me, and I will lean on those people. I am going to continue to be open to the process and the journey and trust whichever direction he leads me, it's not going to be for my bad, but for my good. So I'm going to draw this to a close, and I'm going to get ready to head out because it's time to put some ice on this arm. And I hope you guys will come back for the next video. Don't know which way I'm going to go, but I will see you next time when I just sharing with Nai. And I thank you as always. Peace out. I'm out.